every year we see each other.
Yes.
And I think the people like us, we spend
Sure.
more have a life in the watch business, and we look at the different way in watches. I would say as an old-fashioned aesthetic, you are most a qualified person to talk about Vacheron. The slogan this year, symmetry to artistry.
It's quite a wide theme. I would say when it's about watch design, I think this is exactly the question. A watch is a mechanical object which includes a movement. And when you think about a movement, you have to think about geometry. In a nutshell, from geometry to artistry, it's very much depicting the fact that we have to translate mechanics, geometric, into beauty.
In 2024, the patrimony came to us again with a different faces, a very special all silver tone.
The idea really behind was to reconnect with the roots of the patrimony, which are coming from the 50s. When you look at vintage watches from the 50s or the 60s, you see very often this absolutely beautiful color, which is the kind of old silver. I think the result is, for me, fantastic. This old silver color reflects extremely well the gold color of the case. In the rose gold model, the color becomes almost like light champagne. And for the white gold case, it has some greenish accents. It fits extremely well with the patrimony.
What kind of tone is really the Vacheron all silver tone?
It's a long process together with our dial makers in order to replicate that particular color. And we have decided to go for a sunburst, which is below the old silver. There's a hint of vintage in this timepiece. However, it's still very modern and contemporary. The white gold with the two-tone dial, we decided to choose an olive green strap, which is unexpected. This kind of little retro touch with the modernity of the colors that we have chosen. It combines so well.
Last year we talked about the blue,
Yes.
And this year we talk about the green.
Green, yes. If we want to talk about the green, we have to talk about the blue. When we launched the current generation of the Overseas in 2016, we really wanted to create signature blue for Overseas in order to find a special balance. We made quite a complex recipe, mixing metallic colors, blue lacquer and transparent lacquer in a nutshell. And of course, when we decided to create the green dials, it was highly important for us to replicate the depth, the sophistication, the elegance of the blue dial. And I love very much depending how the light is catching the surface of the dial. This green color looks pale green, and if you are with this angle, for example, it looks almost black.
And it matches the rose gold
Oh, yeah.
so well.
Yes.
Titanium tourbillon. The titanium is very light and very easy to wear. And we also know the crafting on the titanium is
Yes.
not very easy.
No, I would say the geometry of the Overseas, particularly the links of the bracelets, they are not flat at all, they are all curved. And we have this Maltese cross design. All these things were not at all easy to adapt to titanium. But at the end of the day, we have exactly the same finishing on the titanium Overseas compared with the steel. About our titanium tourbillon, that we didn't want to change a bit the color of the titanium by adding a coating. We think it's a better solution to keep the original color of a metal rather than to try to create an artificial difference between two metals with a similar color. In the pack, we have the peripheral rotor, which is super modern, super light. So I think it's a great combination of technicality and hyper-modernity in terms of materials.
traditional tourbillon. In my mind, I think Vachon is a brand which can present the complication in a very elegant way.
If we think about what are the key adjectives when speaking about the style of Vacheron Constantin, for me these words are classic, elegant, sophisticated, refined, sometimes with a twist. We take the greatest care into infusing these style elements into our watches, not only into, I would say, the case, the dials, etc., but also as well in the movements. On the traditional chronograph tourbillon, this is also kind of ode to the classic chronograph movements from the 30s, the 40s. We wanted really to pay tribute to the great tradition of chronographs. That's why we decided to go for a single button chronograph. The combination between the single button chronograph and the tourbillon at 12 o'clock with a huge cage, which is finished by hand. I think it's a great mix, especially when the timepiece is dressed full in platinum, including the dial, and so having this kind of very monochromatic appearance, which is so chic and so modern.
Great!
Great, that was a great one. Woo.
It's a very smooth.
No, it's true, we know each other so well. Yeah, but that's why it goes so well.